I was not going to make a video on this topic. I was just going to let it pass, let it go on by. It's been a couple days. But today I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and add my 2 cents in here, because it seems like just about everybody in the luxury community has chimed in on this. So I'm here, let's talk about it. What I want to do in this video is do a recap of like the timeline of at least how I saw these events transpire, share some opinions from others in the luxury community, and get feedback from you, see how you're feeling about all this. So let's start at the beginning. So I follow How She Spends It on Instagram, love her account by the way, and she reposted a post from foxylv on her Instagram story. This is the repost, and I tried to go to foxylv's page. That post had already been deleted, so I didn't get to see the original. This is the closest thing that I got to seeing where this all started. I'm going to read the very first post from foxylv. Effective immediately, Neverfulls will no longer be sold in store, leather versions and also damier ebene, azur, and monogram. If you would like to purchase one, you will be waitlisted. They will still have them in store for display. Now limited editions will be available for purchase in store. FYI. So from the very beginning, it wasn't like, oh, like the Neverfull is being discontinued. It's like, okay, well, we're not going to sell it online anymore. We're not going to sell it in store anymore. To me, that feels like discontinued because I'm not going to the store and ordering a Neverfull and getting on a wait list. I just probably won't do it. It's just not something that I would normally do. If you know me, I avoid the mall. I don't like to do that stuff. To me, in my little world, like the Louis Vuitton Neverfull is over unless I buy it pre-loved. Maybe I'll change my mind on that. Anyway, this is not about me. Let's get back to what happened. Now, by the time I saw it on Saturday, I think it was like 7 a.m. on Saturday that I saw it. It was posted 20 hours before that, so it was actually posted on Friday. Now, I don't know how much before that foxylv posted it. I'm not sure, but I've heard a few people say that this rumor started on Thursday. So, of course, as soon as I saw that, I checked the Louis Vuitton website to see if they were still in stock because they've consistently been in stock on the Louis Vuitton website for a while now because I've been thinking about getting either a Speedy or a Neverfull, maybe both. And I've kind of been looking at the website every couple days or so, and none of them have been out of stock when I've checked. So when I saw that they were all showing out of stock on Saturday, I was like, oh, I think that this thing is real. So I posted about it on my Instagram story saying how disappointed I was hearing that the Neverfull is maybe going to be discontinued. So a few people shared with me another post, and it was a post by now.you.glow, and this is what it says. No, they're not being retired. Yes, they are sold out online, but here's why. They are being pulled as free stock from stores and online. One of each canvas model and one of each leather will remain in store as display only. If a client wants to, they'll be placed on a wait list for one. Current ETA is about 2 to 3 months once stores sell out of what is on hand. The goal is to take them back to their roots of being more of a luxury item as well as minimizing their carbon footprint by only making what is needed. So that's kind of even more of a confirmation that like, okay, it's not discontinued. You just have to get on a waiting list for it of 2 to 3 months, and you can go try it on in store if you want to, but you are not going home with a Neverfull. So of course, the next thing that I do is go onto YouTube and see who was super quick about this. And the first video that I saw was Romina Roseme. And the title of her video says, "Breaking News, LV Neverfull Discontinued Today." Now she goes on to read foxylv's original post where it explains that there would be a wait list, and it's not necessarily that the bag is discontinued, it's that you're just going to be waitlisted. They're not going to have it in the store anymore. And then she went on to share her opinion about what she thinks is going on with Louis Vuitton. The comments were interesting too because everyone was sharing their opinion, and lots of people commented saying it's not being discontinued, it's just going to be a wait list. And she does explain in the video that it is the wait list process rather than it being just flat out, we don't sell Neverfulls anymore. So I think the video itself was pretty clear. And then she shared her opinion of why she feels that this is happening. I think it's a really good video because I think it's a very immediate response to hearing the news. So I definitely recommend going to watch it. Love her channel, by the way. And then the most informative video that I watched, which I highly recommend that you go and watch after this, was from Lula LV. So the title of the video, first of all, the thumbnail of the video, I'll show it to you. It says, "Not Discontinued." The title is "How to Buy a Neverfull in 2023, Louis Vuitton's New Policy Explained." I'm also going to read the community post that Lula LV made because it explains things right here. So, breaking news, effective immediately, Louis Vuitton is no longer selling their classic Neverfull in stores. This applies to all permanent styles of Neverfulls, such as canvas and empreinte leather. Purchase will be through waitlist only. Special edition Neverfulls will continue to be available in store. So I think at this point, we're all on board that it is not being discontinued. It's just changing the way that you're buying the Neverfull. But it's an odd move, don't you think? So then I watched a video this morning from Living Luxe with Meredith. Now, Living Luxe with Meredith is all over LV. So I trust her opinions because I feel like she knows the brand very, very well. But she was mentioning that Louis Vuitton has done this with other bags as well. So for example, the Favorite. I remember when the Favorite was discontinued because I went into the store and I asked, did they have any? And then the sales associate told me that they were discontinued. And I was like, oh, I had no idea. I was just looking at them like a couple days ago on the website and they weren't discontinued yet. It was kind of like out of nowhere, at least to me, it seemed like it was out of nowhere. So I definitely remember that. And same thing with the bum bag. The bum bag got really, really popular. It blew up and then they discontinued it. They were like, we're not doing that anymore. So I think it's a really valid point to bring up the fact that Louis Vuitton has done this before. This is not a brand new move for them. But with the Neverfull, like we know that Speedy and Neverfull are the most recognizable bags from Louis Vuitton, right? And then I think the Pochette Métis is like getting up there. And I think that long term, it will be like one of those really recognized designs. But for right now, like you think of Louis Vuitton, I feel like you think of Speedy and Neverfull. Like you think of your first designer bag, you think of Speedy or Neverfull. I don't know, those two just go together for me. And I know that the Neverfull was made not nearly as long ago as the Speedy, so it's a lot newer, but still it's an iconic, really well-known bag, and I'm still surprised that they did this. So then, of course, I had to get other opinions on this. So I went to our handbags on Reddit. The original post says, the Louis Vuitton Neverfull is being discontinued and will only be available on waitlist basis for now. What do you think? The first response says, LV wants to move upmarket. Neverfulls, especially canvas, are faked all the time. They want to move in a new direction and become more exclusive, not the path that they have been chasing the last 2 decades. Someone responded to that saying that logos and branding are out. Recession vibes will further drive tacky displays of wealth into the ground. I mean, that seems like an aggressive statement, but okay. The next person said resellers will benefit from this. People who don't want to wait or can't get to the store to be waitlisted, they'll just buy it from other sources, even if it means that it's going to cost them extra. I'm sure Fashionphile is grateful for Louis Vuitton's decision to do this. Someone else responded saying, I think this is a ridiculous ploy by them to give this air of exclusivity. It's manufactured, artificial, and thus fake exclusivity, and just comes off as tacky and cheap to me. Ultimately, I find the whole thing to be a major turnoff, and it actually puts me firm in the never to the Neverfull category. There are so many amazing, luxurious purses in this world, and not enough days of the week to wear them all, so I'm not missing out. I thought this one was interesting too. I went to the zoo and it was the most common designer purse, especially with stroller moms. Saw at least 5, not including the obvious fakes. They're just trying to get customers to consider other bags. Customers who want the bag will still be able to get it. Now this is one that I agree with actually. So I think that Louis Vuitton does want people to consider their other bags, not necessarily only their leather bags, but maybe other silhouettes as well, especially because of how popular and how faked that bag is. I think that they're just trying to pivot directions, do something else, have people focus on something else when they come into the store. But I think it's a really good thing that they're not making this unavailable to people, even though it's harder to get now because you have to wait. I don't appreciate that, but it's not the end of the world. That's also not the main reason that I think that Louis Vuitton is doing this. This is just totally my opinion, not based off of any facts or anything like that. I think that they're giving us something to talk about because now we're all making videos about the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. It's the reason why we're sitting here right now. Everyone has been so focused on Chanel like the last 6 months with the price increase and the quality. Everyone is talking about Chanel. So even though it's negative press about Chanel, people are still buying Chanel. Chanel is still on your mind. You're still thinking about it because you're hearing it all the time. I think that Louis Vuitton is giving us something to talk about. It's not necessarily a negative thing about the brand that we're talking about either. It's just a change that we're talking about. And some people are a little bit upset, but people being a little bit upset is what people are going to want to talk about. So they didn't do something that was like drastically different and outrageous or anything like that. They did something that got people's attention. They had a big change leaked. They showed on the website that they're out of stock. And some people said that they think that this is because they wanted people to go and panic buy because they're not buying enough of these monogram pieces. Or they're not buying enough Neverfulls right now. And I actually don't think that that's really the case. I think that they sell tons and tons of bags. I don't think they're worried about just getting a surge for like a week. I think it's more of making sure that people aren't forgetting about Louis Vuitton and making sure that you're not getting too comfortable with their items being on the website, making sure that you're not getting too comfortable with monogram because you know that they've been threatening to get rid of monogram for a long time and they just haven't done that. I also don't think that they're gonna do that, but initially I felt like they were because when I first saw the post, I've had a Speedy 25 and monogram in my cart for a long time now. And I was kind of bummed because I felt like the monogram Speedy was going to be the next one that you have to get on a wait list. Like they were going to take it off the website, not have any more stock there. As of right now, it's still on there. It's still in stock on the website, but I got scared and I was like, oh, maybe I should just buy it right now. And I even posted that on my Instagram story. I said, I think I'm going to just buy the Speedy right now. And that way I have it in case this changes. And I ended up really thinking about it because I have a rule for myself where I don't buy something the same day that I decide that I want it. So even though I've had that sitting in my cart for a while, I knew that I wasn't actually going to pull my cart out and go and process that order. I knew that I was going to wait a little bit to buy it So I knew that I wanted it, but I wanted to wait a day after I made the decision to go ahead and purchase it. And I'm glad that I do that. Now that I've gotten a chance to sit and think about it, like there's Speedies everywhere. Even if I have to buy one pre-loved, like there's always going to be a monogram Speedy somewhere. There's going to be a way to get one and I don't have to rush and get it right now. The other thing that added pressure to people is that there's a rumored price increase. From what I heard, I think Louis Vuitton increases their prices twice a year. Let me know if that's not correct. People are not only trying to get what they think is going to be gone, but they're also trying to get in before the price increase. So yeah, probably going to drive up sales a little bit, but like I said, I think the main reason is because people are going to be talking about Louis Vuitton, and then when their price increase hits, they're going to talk about it again. Then they're going to be back in the mix. People are making TikToks, YouTube videos, Instagram posts, sharing everything, spreading around news, all of that stuff. I think that they did it for the publicity, but that's just my personal opinion. That's not really based on any facts or anything that I heard at all. So take it with a grain of salt. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Why do you think that Louis Vuitton is doing this? Did you have the Neverfull on your wish list? What do you think about this change? Are you willing to wait 2 to 3 months and go to the store and get on a waiting list to get the Neverfull? Let me know your thoughts on this. I am really curious to hear how other people feel. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.